Every city has a founding myth. London has 5 death sentences, and it survived every single one. London has been burned to the ground, conquered by foreign invaders, drowned in its own sewage, and bombed for 57 consecutive nights. Any one of these should have killed it. Instead, each catastrophe secretly rebuilt it into something more powerful. Over 2,000 years, 5 moments, most of them erased from the textbooks, didn't just change London. They invented the city you think you already know. London wasn't supposed to exist. The Romans built it as a gamble, a riverside trading post, a bridge to nowhere, perched at the edge of an empire. By the year 60, it was already a bustling port of 10,000 people, where the earliest known London document, a debt tablet for 155 denarii, records a city born in commerce, not legend. Then came Boudica. Her army swept through with fire and fury, torching Londinium to the ground. Archaeologists still find the bright red burned layer, a scar of clay and ash, deep beneath the modern city. The slaughter was total: men, women, children, traders, soldiers. Tacitus says the Romans nearly gave up. But Suetonius Paulinus, the governor, refused to abandon the ruins. Instead, he rebuilt, faster and stronger. Within months, a timber fort rose on the ashes, roads fanned out to every corner of Britain, and new walls began to snake around the blackened ground. 7 major Roman roads converged here, fixing London's place on the map. Out of catastrophe, engineering became survival. The city's first death sentence became its accidental birthright. Christmas Day, 1066. William, fresh from Hastings, is crowned in Westminster. Outside, Norman guards hear the English cheer and mistake it for revolt. They set fire to the city. In the smoke and panic, William makes his move, not just with soldiers, but with stone. He issues a charter to London's merchants. "I will not allow any man to do you any wrong." It's a bargain, loyalty in exchange for privilege, sealed before the ashes cool. But trust is thin. William orders 3 castles, White Tower, Baynard's, Montfichet's, built inside the old Roman walls, each one a stone fist gripping the city's throat. Cairnstone ships up the Thames, foreign law rules the courts, and Norman French becomes the language of power until 1362. The Domesday Book tallies every coin, every acre. Wooden houses crowd narrow lanes, ready to burn. London's skyline is rewritten, not by the people, but by the conqueror's will. September 1666. A spark in a baker's shop on Pudding Lane becomes a 4-day inferno, devouring 13,200 houses, 87 churches, and nearly every street in the old city. Lord Mayor Thomas Bloodworth is handed the chance to stop it with a single order: demolish a row of houses to create a fire break. Instead, he scoffs. A woman might piss it out, and does nothing. By the time he acts, it is too late. The city is a blackened moonscape, but out of the ashes comes a new London, built not of timber, but of brick and stone. Parliament passes acts demanding fireproof materials, and over 400 million bricks are hauled in by barge and cart. Christopher Wren draws up plans for 52 new churches and a dome that will become St. Paul's. The Fire Court, working through thousands of disputes, keeps London's tangled medieval streets mostly intact, but the skyline is forever changed. Destruction becomes the architect of reinvention. By the summer of 1858, the Thames had turned into what Charles Dickens called a deadly sewer in the place of a fine, fresh river. Heat waves cooked the waste of 2.5 million people, and Parliament hung curtains soaked in lime chloride to mask the stench. Cholera had already killed thousands, and the city teetered on the edge of retreat. But beneath the panic, a new kind of rescue was taking shape. Joseph Bazalgette, chief engineer, set out to save London not with fire or stone, but with brick and pipe. His plan called for 82 miles of intercepting sewers and over 1,100 miles of smaller pipes, all laid by hand, 318 million bricks in total. Bazalgette doubled the diameter of every tunnel, insisting, "We are only going to do this once, and there is always the unforeseen." The Victoria embankment reclaimed 52 acres from the river, hiding the new arteries that would carry filth away from the city. London's salvation came underground, in darkness and sweat, turning a public health disaster into the quiet triumph that still protects the city today. Night after night, the sirens wailed, and the sky over London glowed red. Between September 1940 and May 1941, German bombers dropped 12,000 tons of explosives on the city. Nearly 30,000 civilians died. 1.5 million people lost their homes. Whole neighborhoods vanished in a single raid. The ground pitted with craters and the air thick with dust and fear. In Bethnal Green, the panic was silent and sudden. A warden's voice, "Don't push! Keep calm," was swallowed by the crush on the narrow steps of the underground. One slip, a surge, and 173 people were gone in less than a minute. No bombs fell that night, only the terror of war echoing underground. Official stories spoke of courage and unity, the so-called Blitz spirit. But the truth was more complicated: grief, exhaustion, and a city forced to start again. When the bombing ended, thousands of bomb sites scarred the map. Planners and politicians saw an opportunity. The Barbican, the South Bank, entire districts rose from the ruins, their shapes drawn by the impact of high explosive. The modern skyline is a monument to destruction repurposed, a city rebuilt on the memory of loss. 2,000 years, 5 death sentences, and a Queen's torch. London wasn't supposed to exist, but here it stands, scarred and unstoppable. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more history deep dives.